The CHGO White Sox Podcast, coming to you live from Studio A of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me, Vinnie Duber, our CHGO White Sox beat writer. You can follow him at Vinnie Duber. He's our CHGO White Sox beat writer. And the man in the middle is Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
You can follow him at Ecknerwall23. He's our CHGO White Sox community leader. And I'm Sean Anderson. Again, you can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. You can follow the show at CHGO_White Sox. And shout out to Sarah.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Sarah made cookies.
Oh, they're good too.
And you both like them. I haven't tried them just yet. But as the graphics Sarah made said, don't be scared. Hit that like button. Make sure you're hitting the thumbs up button. We got Pomsky Life Nova chatting in the comments. Hit the thumbs up button. We appreciate everyone hanging out with us. And if you are and are not subscribed yet, hit that big, giant, red subscribe button underneath the video. You can't miss it. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about the 2024 rotation. Maybe. Will Jake Eder possibly be threatening for a spot in the 2024 rotation? And if he is, I think it means I think that's bad things for the White Sox. I guess that's the best way I could put it. And Vinny, I will let you know a little bit of what I've shown Herb already. My horrific off-season plan. If Jake Eder actually starts with the White Sox in the rotation in 2024, I will share you the horrible way that this team could possibly look. If things are this bad, we'll truly get into it. But also, I'm not that pessimistic. I got some middle thoughts and some, what's the opposite of pessimistic? Optimistic thoughts, too, to share. So we'll get into that. Let's get in, though, to Jake Eder. There is currently the Glendale Desert Dogs going on. Their season lasts until around November 11th. There was a recent walk-off single from Colson Montgomery. So that's probably going to raise him up on the prospect rankings. But Jake Eder has also been a focus for the Sox players that are currently participating in Arizona Fall League. Mark Gonzalez, who's writing with the Sun-Times nowadays, wrote on Jake Eder, who is down in Glendale. And Chris Getz said on Jake Eder, quote, "He's not far off." This was a week ago, but Getz said he wasn't concerned, and he just thinks that, Eder was kind of finding himself in those double-A days that he had in Birmingham after the trade deadline. What do we make of the quotes coming out from Glendale from Chris Getz on Jake Eder? Is it something to actually look into, or is this Chris Getz being asked about a player and speaking highly because he's Chris Getz?
I don't know. I can't read too much into what it was said. And the numbers, both from Birmingham and the Desert Dogs, aren't encouraging at all, according to just if you're looking at traditional wins, losses, ERA, walks, strikeouts, all that good stuff. But if Chris Getz believes that Jake Eder isn't far off, that can just be, he can have plausible deniability. That's a guy, he could say, hey, not far off can mean 2025. It could be next year. But also, it could be whenever he is ready to come up to the major leagues. But from my eye and from this guy just coming off of Tommy John, where he missed the whole 2022 season, I think that he'll probably need a couple more rounds down there, either in Birmingham or in Charlotte, before he is ready for Major League Baseball. And probably also Chris Getz giving his guy a little encouragement, a little carrot, not all the stick. So I'll say that is just GM nonsense, trying to get sell papers and stuff like that and get us talking about things like that with Jake Eder. Not even nonsense. It's just filler.
You think Jake Eder selling papers?
No, he's not selling papers, but we're talking about it. People are looking forward to the next person who's going to be up there, and we did trade Jake Berger away. I would suspect they would be trying to pump up Jake Eder because that's the player they got back. And so, yeah.
I don't know if anybody's looked out the window, but whether it's the weather going on outside or reaction to some sort of benign comment about a prospect, boy, did we fast forward to winter right away. And you've got people jumping all over any little bit of anything that they can get to talk about this team, which obviously hasn't been playing for a whole month now. And, looking forward to something that allows to project forward positively or negatively. But listen, this is much ado about nothing. This is just a general manager complimenting a young prospect, particularly one that, like you said, the team traded for. The team went out and got because the front office at the time, of course, Chris Getz was a part of it, not leading it, believed in this pitcher enough to swap Jake Berger for him. Like you said, Sean, close can mean anything. And, I think that there is probably no chance that Jake Eder is part of the White Sox rotation on opening day 2024. That being said, maybe he turns on a switch and has himself a really nice first half, and he finds himself, making some big league starts toward the end of next season. But I don't think anybody should go projecting him as part of that opening day rotation quite yet. That, again, I understand why people are thinking this way because, look, there's 3 empty spots in the rotation. Nobody has been able to sign any free agents yet with the World Series going on. So, hey, let's just start plugging in players that are down in the minors to fill those spots, at least in the meantime. But I think you've got a guy who's still very much in development mode down there. Listen, the White Sox aren't the only people high on this guy. If you look at the evaluators and the rankings, they all thought when the trade was made, continue to think that he can be something. And I think that you've got, even if it is a little bit off in terms of not opening day next year, you've got a few names on the starting pitching front finally for this White Sox team that you can point to and say, oh, maybe the future here. Eder's one of them, Nastrini is one of them, and even Kai Bush, who they got in that Angels trade, you could throw his name in that mix as well. But as we know from following the last time we were following prospects, right? It doesn't always just go to the majors right that way. Yeah, we saw Kopech and Cease and Giolito, but we never saw Alec Hansen at the big league level and plenty of other guys that were being talked about.
Jonathan Stever.
Yes, well, we did see him. We did see him.
We saw him way too many times.
If briefly,
way too many times.
Yeah, he was not good.
I don't think we saw him enough.
He's made 3 starts, hasn't he?
Way too many times, man.
He's been hurt.
Yeah, boom. Way too many times.
Wow.
Okay.
I thought about Stever the same way I used to think about Jimmy Lambert.
Three games, 6 1/3 innings.
I was right. Wow. The point, though, that I'm making is that I don't think anybody needs to rush to, oh, my God, Chris Getz is putting Jake Eder in the rotation for opening day quite yet. That being said, though, listen, something to start talking about this offseason, and he's definitely a name worth watching, as the White Sox don't, as I've said many times, they're not really going back into rebuild mode, but there is maybe a little bit more focus on years down the line than next year in terms of, what might happen this offseason. That might be the way it plays out. We'll find out. If that's the case, and we're talking about 2025 all of a sudden here, then a guy like Eder and those other AA, AAA names are guys to keep eyes on.
I guess the one thing, though, that we really haven't talked about with you, because you've been on vacation, is if you are going into this offseason with the idea of being competitive in 2025, shouldn't you still be acting like 2024 is a competitive year, or you're at least trying to build towards something? I think if you, and obviously this is worst case scenario, you put 3 rookies into the rotation, that's a horrible sign, and I don't think the White Sox think that they're going to be that competitive. But, you look at the Rangers after they lost 2 games, they went out and signed Simeon and Seager. And then they continued that. They spent like $500 million and then $275 million the next offseason. So the whole quote around Chris Young was that he kept his foot on the gas. Do you think that the White Sox need to do that if they want to be actually competitive in 2025? Like, I don't know. I don't think you can skip steps. And it's fine that they want these guys to have lofty goals. And Jake Eder says, where is it? The goal for me is to be in the starting rotation in 2024. That was my goal all along, and it will continue to be. And I know that there have been some quotes saying that, we want these guys to be competitive. Pedro saying there are spots open, so, let's let guys compete. But Jake Eder's not ready yet. I mean,
but who said that he is? You know what I mean?
That's true. But I guess if he does make it to the starting rotation, I guess that's a bad sign for the White Sox.
I mean, if he's there on opening day, yeah, right? Because you're going to have tons of questions as to whether about his readiness, even if he does have a very nice spring, right? But it's the same kind of thing we've talked about with other young players in the past. But if he has 3-4 months in the minor leagues next year, and he's blown everybody away, there's going to be plenty of people saying, bring him up, bring him up, bring him up. And they might determine at that time that he's ready. So, again, I don't think they're planning on punting on 2024 or anything like that. You might see a move that makes a lot more sense for 25 than it does for 24, but you might see it this offseason. We have to see how things play out. But you're talking about something in a rotation that is comprised mostly of rookies that I don't think we have any sort of inclination that that's what is going to happen, or that there would be a large chance that would happen yet. I look at a guy who had success last year, like Nastrini, as being able to maybe take advantage of an opportunity in the spring if there is a spot available, if he's just going up against some, for lack of a better term, bargain basement kind of free agents who you're just taking a shot on, right? Maybe he has a great spring and it's like, all right, give him a shot. Let's see what happens, because he proved in 2023 that he had a very good amount of success at the minor league level, earned kind of the ramp up. A guy like Eder obviously probably has some things that they'd like him to work on in a big way against minor league competition. I don't know if he has that same kind of opportunity in reality. He might be invited to spring training, but I don't know if in reality he has that same type of opportunity as a guy who is coming off a very successful season that ended with him getting promoted to AAA.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that he can get back to where he was a couple years ago before the Tommy John. I mean, I've looked at his stats. Maybe I missed something. Did he never just skip single A and go right to double A and have great performance out of college? If that's the case, he had a sub-2 ERA, like 5 or 6.
He was in single A.
Single A, okay.
He was in Jupiter, 9 2/3 innings, and a 4.66 ERA.
And then just went to double A and dominated. So if he can get back to that track, like Vinny said, at the end of the year, trade deadline, the White Sox are either in it or not, but he's proven himself to be a starter of that caliber and back on that track. He's just turned 25. So he's not a spring chicken, but he's not, old as hell. So I think he can get back there by, like, the end of next year. The beginning of next year, I don't think at all, because, like we said, he doesn't have the innings base. He's trying to just build himself up right now, and then he doesn't have the success to go along with the innings base.
Yeah, and as you're alluding to, the 25-year-old Eder, who just turned 25 in early October, was drafted in 2020. Yeah, 2020 in the 4th round by the Marlins, and then immediately was put into Pensacola, which is their double-A, then missed in 2022, and only had 9 2/3 innings in 2023 in single A. But most of his minor league innings have come, I think around 90 of them have come, it might even be 100. What's 71 plus 29?
That's 100.
Yeah, and there's yeah. So I think 101 innings total for Eder at Pensacola, which is Miami's double A. So over 100 innings there, and then 17 innings at Birmingham. So he is 25. We see Brandon Pfaadt coming in. He's 25. He was around a 4th to 5th round pick. It's not a crazy jump that Eder could be in the starting rotation at some point. Mm-hmm. I just think it's probably not to start this season if Sox fans were worried. Getz said he's finishing his first full professional season. He's very intelligent. He's going to find it. It's a matter of time. And Mark notes that the development of a changeup would serve as a separator for Eder, and Getz acknowledged that remaining command of his 2 primary pitches remain a priority. So as long as he's first mainly a fastball slider guy, and then working in that changeup, maybe Eder has those 3 pitches to be able to take towards a major league rotation. The issue is, if you're working on a changeup, you probably don't want to do that at a major league level as a 25-year-old rookie. No. So I think it's likely, probably 95% likely, that Jake Eder doesn't win a chop in spring training and is in the AA or AAA rotation.
Well, and I'll bring this up too. We've got a new GM that we're covering, or that we're talking about running the White Sox, right? And so for years, we got used to the way that Rick Hahn talked about things. Mm-hmm. And when it came to prospects and their level of readiness, Rick was very cautious to think about what his words were going to mean for expectations, right? Mm-hmm. And so he often would speak about it in a different way than other people who worked in the organization, right? I remember every time we would talk to Marco Patti about an international signing in the winter, it would be, this guy's close to being the major leagues. This guy's close to the major leagues. And he could have been talking about a guy who was 19 years old, right? It was just, but he was excited about the player, and he was looking at the skill set and describing the skill set and saying, we identify things that could make this guy a major leaguer sooner rather than later, hopefully, if everything goes right. That was what the reading between the lines was on that front. And Chris really was similar too when he, was the head of player development, talking up these guys as showing what they're capable of, showing improvement, from one year to the next. Oh, this guy is close because he's closer than he was last year, kind of thing. And then obviously, as you mentioned, talking about the way guys talk about themselves, right? You want these guys to say, I'm going to be in the major leagues next year, because it shows a confidence in themselves, a confidence in their ability, and a hunger to achieve a goal, right? And work toward a goal. So when you hear Chris Getz say Jake Eder's close or not far off from maybe being a major league caliber guy, you kind of have to work it through the translator of what we used to hear from Rick Hahn, which probably wouldn't have been those words, because he was very cognizant of, if I say this, people will expect this, and if those expectations aren't met, so and so forth and so on. Maybe Chris Getz will get there once, he's talked about this and had his words dissected so closely by us and everybody else. But I think right now it's interesting and probably relies heavily on a lot of context from me and other folks who cover the team closely and have for years when it comes to setting those expectations based on those words that we're hearing from the guys. He's not far off could mean a lot of different things depending on who's saying it and what has been said about those players in the past.
Right. He could be, not far off from regaining where he was before.
Right.
Tommy John surgery. I mean, this is the only second time that Chris Getz has addressed the media, and barely even, the media. I guess he talked to Mark only. So, it's not like he has a full scrum experience, right? So, this is Chris's infancy of being a GM. I also find it interesting, too. He didn't acquire Jake Eder.
Correct.
No.
He has no ties to Jake Eder. I guess he was a part of the organization when they made the trade. But
he has ties to him in that he is the GM of a team of an organization in which Jake Eder is a highly rated prospect in.
That's true. Jake Eder's here.
Theoretically, all these players are not his, except for the guy he got at the end of the year from the Texas Rangers. All these people, he has to act like they are his, though, and move that way in that fashion. I know he didn't acquire Jake Eder, but that's his guy. And he'll be judged upon Jake Eder's development, too, and other players, of course. But, yeah, I know what you're saying. It's kind of like the football thing where people are like, that's not my quarterback. I didn't draft him, so I can easily get rid of him. But I'm sure that he wants to have Jake Eder succeed because, yes, Kenny Williams did trade for him, but I guarantee the majority of the blame or success will be going to him if Jake Eder does not win a good job in spring training or is not good in 2024.
Well, and if Jake Berger is really good in 2024 and beyond, we'll definitely be hearing a lot about it. Jake Berger had an OPS plus of 113 with the Chicago White Sox, and then they traded him to the Miami Marlins, and he got better, 130 OPS plus.
He started getting on base much more, too. His average was better.
Yeah.
It was only 2 months, but still. He was a much better player in Miami.
214 average to 303, 279 on base to 355. The slugging went down, but the OPS went up, and that's all that matters. Jake Berger was incredibly influential into that team making the playoffs this year. But still, I look at this. I look at the trade. Where would Jake Berger play? You're not able to move off Moncada's $24 million this year. He can't play the outfield.
And you made Vaughn the number 3 pick in the draft. I know,
and both of them can't play first base.
Yeah. Right. And I think, listen, I understand what a lot of fans do. They look at it and say, "Who cares? Who cares if play the best player at the best position?" Right? But the investment that's been made in Yoan Moncada means you cannot do anything but stick with him unless someone's going to give you equal value to get rid of him. The fiscal or the financial investment might not be the same in Andrew Vaughn, but you staked a lot of stuff on him with that number 3 pick in the draft being part of your future, not to mention that they just still believe that he's going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised if almost everyone who worked and works in that front office still thinks that Andrew Vaughn is going to turn out to be a better hitter than Jake Burger at the end of the day. Again, you, the viewer, us, the observers, we can think differently, but we're not the ones making that decision. And we can look at something and say, oh, well, we have data and we watched last season and boy, Jake Burger was much better. But that's probably from a talent evaluation standpoint, projection standpoint, not what the folks over at 35th and Shields saw, which is why Jake Burger got traded, right? Listen, he was a guy who proved that forcing the issue, though, is a thing, right? He got himself playing time by hitting the ball really, really well. And so I would not bet against him continuing to force the issue, right? Now, you could say, well, all he's got to do is just keep hitting, and eventually something's got to give. And that could have very well happened. But I think your point, Sean, is very correct in that they said, we've mapped out our future, both short-term and long-term, and those corner infield spots are spoken for.
Well, and two, just to address Alex and Austin before Herb jumps in, them bringing up that Burger was also a first-round pick, Burger being 11th in his draft, Vaughn being 3rd in his draft. The issue is that they're literally like 2 years apart. One is April 3rd, 1998. The other one's April 10th, 1996. So there is a 2-year difference between Burger and Andrew Vaughn. I don't know if that played into the factor or into factor here, but you look at Burger's numbers after this year. I think he's top 25 in average exit velocity, top 15 in barrel rate. I mean, he just got better, and he only saw like 600 pitches last year, and then in 2023 he saw over 2,000 and still put up this great run. So it's like maybe there's still that in Vaughn if he just sees a ton more pitches and has a ton more experience, and in 2 years he'll be 27 just like Jake Burger is now. Maybe.
And I got what Austin and Alex are saying, but I believe the 2 injuries that Jake suffered consecutively didn't necessarily put him out of sight, out of mind, but they've moved on from that.
Changed their plans, absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly. And so when he did what he did this year, I'm sure that Kenny, as I felt, that this is a surprise, this is a shock, because they didn't have him on the opening day roster. What we got from him is not what we expected from him. We love it. And now we can use this good player and what he's doing and get another player that we actually need for the future. And he doesn't want to be stuck with the Carlos Quintans of the world or the Avi Garcias. And this is unfair to Jake Burger because he didn't do that stuff where these players were flashed in the pans for 1 year, had a strong year, Daniel Palka, Josh Fields, to name a few. And he didn't want to go down that road again. And I get it. You've been burnt multiple times on that, and you want to trade a player at its highest value, and that's what they did with Jake Burger. And you saw, when he went to Miami, we already discussed the numbers. He became a better player. And maybe that is because, I don't know, multiple factors. Him playing much more, having a guaranteed job down there in Miami, them in a playoff race at that time, and him just rising to the occasion. But as we saw, the average wasn't high, the on-base wasn't high, the slugging was high. He was just pretty much a stick for the White Sox, and that's what they need going forward. But if they would have traded Andrew Vaughn instead of Jake Burger, I would have had some questions for that trade because, like you said, he was drafted 3rd overall. He was staked to be the first baseman of the future after they get rid of Jose Abreu, didn't offer him a contract that he thought was representative of what his talents are. And that would have been a confusing thing to me. And as you guys said, he would have otherwise had no other position then. Like, not second base. You're not going into the year next year with Jake Burger at second base. I know he had a short sample size and people are like, oh, he can play second. Calm down. He can't play second for 152 or 162. I don't think he had a position. I like the trade at the time. I still like the trade. I think Jake's going to have a nice career. I don't think he's going to have the ass-kickingly great year that he had with the 2 months he had in Miami. I think he'll have a nice career where they're like, man, good job, Jake Burger. We really appreciate your time here. Maybe an all-star, but that's it. I have a big-time belief that Jake Eder will be a contributor to the pitching staff eventually, and I don't mind the trade. Maybe the players should have been a little bit higher for what they got and better and ready to play like in the majors or MLB ready. I would have probably liked that a little bit more, But Eder seems like a player that they have high hopes for. A lot of MLB scouts have high hopes for. His first year in the majors or in the minor leagues was pretty good, and they're looking to go back to that. And as we know with Tommy John, it doesn't really zap you of your power or your miles per hour. It just takes time to get back to that level. So
Yeah,
that's what I'm looking forward to.
Well, and you mentioned All-Star. I mean, Jake Berger can be the only All-Star on the Miami Marlins. I feel like we can create a stat like quality of All-Star. If you're an All-Star on like the 1927 Yankees, hey, that's a lot different than being an All-Star on the 2021, I don't know, Kansas City Royals or something like that.
They still got to rise.
Maybe a left fielder for the Kansas City Royals in 2021.
Sean hates All-Stars. We know that.
One specifically. And shout out to Alex, who says Vaughn has seen more MLB pitching than Berger, which is true. Andrew Vaughn, 1,639 plate appearances at a major league level. Jake Berger, 765, so not even at 1,000 for Berger. And Berger's stats on Baseball Reference go all the way back to 2015.
Yes.
2,333 plate appearances. Vaughn goes all the way back to 2017, 2,717 plate appearances. So Vaughn, in 2 less years, has had 200 more plate appearances.
Well, yeah,
than,
he didn't
than Berger.
He didn't have
injuries.
Serious, significant injuries.
What
Right?
I'm just saying is, like, we look at Brock Purdy in the NFL with the San Francisco Giants, and a lot of the talk of now Mr. Irrelevant in the NFL draft turning into a starting quarterback. It's why, and it's just because the theory, I guess, is he had so many game reps. He had so much experience that stepping into an NFL game wasn't as difficult, especially when he's got the playmakers on the 49ers like he does. So I do wonder if just maybe Jake's just catching up in experience at this point, because just like with Tommy John, it just takes time to get back to that level. Maybe it's just taking Jake time to get back to that level of a top 11 pick. It just seems like he's so confident. So I think that's another part of it too, and we'll see what happens with Andrew Vaughn. We didn't make the trade, so we really don't have to answer it to it. We're just kind of talking about it.
We're just watching.
We're just watching, right? We're just taking this all in. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to go into the mailbag and answer some questions from our CHGO diehards. Want to let you know about our friends over at Hero Bread. I know our guy, Big Dave, has been enjoying his Hero Bread. I know, Herb, you've been enjoying your Hero Bread. Mm-hmm. It's extremely important. There we go. It's extremely important to...
Eat bread.
Eat bread.
It.
Yeah. Eat bread. But for her, at least, and
yes.
for certain people, it is important to be watching certain intakes. It should be, especially with you as a diabetic, I know it's important, and Hero Bread, provides a lot to your nutrition.
Yeah, 0 net carbs is perfect for me. We're a lot of fiber in there, too. It's always good. I love Hero Bread. Let's see what we got to do. Why did I start using Hero Bread? As Sean said, I have type 2 diabetes. Don't feel bad for me. I'm good, guys. Don't even worry about it. But I need things like that. I don't want to give up bread because that is the main ingredient in my actual diet. I got to have sandwiches. I got to have wraps. I got to have some burritos, enchiladas, and Hero Bread hooks it up.
Ooh, enchiladas.
Oh, man, it's delicious.
I love enchiladas.
Oh, man.
Enchiladas are good.
Yeah. It's not even hard to make either.
You're making your own sauce?
No. Come on, man. I'm not that. Come on now.
Just asking.
Come on now.
You said it wasn't that
Sarah
hard.
over here. Sarah's over here making cookies.
I make a really good enchilada sauce, actually.
Oh.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make some for Herb. Freeze it.
And I know that people worry about when you have 0 net carbs, if it's like, it tastes good. Oh, no. Don't even worry. It tastes exactly like when I usually have the flour tortillas. It tastes exactly like the flour tortillas you get from the store. But like I said, 80 calories, 0 net carbs, lots of fiber. I think 15 grams of fiber. So you're all good for Hero Bread.
I'm trying to see if they mark the 15 grams of fiber.
You get 10% off hero.co with CHGO.
Yes, you do. And that's what we should let you know about. Hero Bread is giving the CHGO fam 10% off their first order. Use code CHGO to save on Hero Bread. Go to hero.co. That's I don't know how to spell hero. That's HERO.co and use code CHGO to save on Hero Bread today. That's HERO.co to save 10% today. And they also are available on Amazon. Herb, thanks for being light on your feet there and tap dancing and doing that read for me.
You change that O to B. It's my name.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
This could be herb bread.
It could be.
I mean, if you become
Not to be confused with herb bread.
Yes.
is that a completely different thing?
It is.
All right. I want to let you know about our friends over at Circa Sportsbook. Games on Circa Sportsbook will strive to be a minus 110 on the Circa Sports menu, unlike other sports books, which may use a minus 115 or minus 120 split. Circa's low hold model allows them to offer you less juice. So if you like a certain prop, if you like a team to win, if you like them to cover, if you like the over, whether you like the total, whether to go over or under, Circa will always be trying to offer you a minus 110 split. So you pay less to the sportsbook, and if you win, you get more money going to you. Circa keeps a little money as possible on large market bets like futures and golf tournaments, especially compared to other books, which makes that easy for them to keep a minus 110 split and offer that to you. And Circa's customer service are run by real people, and they resolve issues in a timely fashion, unlike other sports books who use a chatbot. All other aspects of the bet app are run by the same team that runs the Circa main sportsbook at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas. Download Circa Sports Illinois at circasports.com/Illinois app today. That's circasports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. Also be on the lookout for Circa events, watch parties, and tailgates. If you or somebody you know have a problem with gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-426-2537. Text GMB 833-234 or visit areyoureallywinning.com. Sorry about that. I feel like a little off kilter on the ads. We're going to get it. Ad break
right.
2 is going to be so stellar, it's ridiculous.
Crisp? Is it going to be crisp?
A honey crisp apple.
Quick side note, there is about 1.5 inches of snow outside.
It's snowing again?
Like this update.
Yeah, it's like a blizzard outside right now.
It keeps on going sun to snow.
I mean, you can't see it out of that window because it's a little bit too low. But
It's
if
a
you
blizzard.
you would be able to see usually the Sears Tower from that second window.
Can't see it.
You can't see it at all.
Can't see it.
The visibility, extremely low. Drive safe out there. Drive slow. Get home safely.
And hit that like button.
And hit that like button. Not while you're driving, though.
Yeah. If there was a like button for winter, I would not hit it.
No, you would not.
I hate winter.
I mean, you
and
get
it's
to go
here early.
You get to go to Nashville next week and talk to.
Well, I get
Chris
to go
Getz.
to Phoenix, but
You get to go to Phoenix.
better.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
It's
a lot warmer.
Highs of 70 or highs of 87 while I'm there in the desert. So
Jealous.
me and Chris Getz will be wearing shorts.
Nice. Very good. All right. Let's get into Mailbag Monday first. We'll get into my bad plan, and we'll get into my pessimism a little bit later. And we appreciate the person who just gave us the 14th like. That 14th like was so important. Shout out to Paul Konerko. Let's get into the Mailbag Monday, though.
And Belton Bill Melton.
I mean, did they retire Belton Bill?
They didn't.
No. Okay, so just Paul
Should've.
Konerko?
Yeah.
They should have.
Should have been a duel.
Should have been a duel. I think that would have been good. Maybe you could have gotten like the inflatable, like jousting.
No,
like,
no, duel. DUAL. A dual retirement.
Oh,
That was fun
I
too.
didn't
I thought
think
you
that
meant
Paul
Aaron
Konerko.
Burr.
I didn't think Paul Konerko and Belton Bill Melton should have taken 10 paces.
I mean,
like dual pistols at
don't
dawn.
they both live in Arizona? So when you see
Oh,
them
yeah.
next week, it's like, hey, man, a dual time. It's a dual time.
Shoot out at the OK Corral.
And just listen to some of those Bill Melton stories. They're always good.
should have him on. All right, let's get into Mailbag Monday. I
I mean,
wonder
you can
if
cuss too, so it's all good.
Bill Melton asked us a question. No, AJ did, who just gave us a thumbs up and is hanging out with us in the chat. He said, you have to, if you have to add one current Chicago sports athlete to the Chicago White Sox at any position, who do you choose and where do they play? For instance, I'm taking Zach LaVine in right field. Shout out to AJ/It's Baseball Kid for being a CHGO diehard and asking the question in our CHGO lounge in our Discord. So we appreciate that. And if you do want to become a diehard, check out allchgo.com. So if you guys are adding one current Chicago sports athlete to the White Sox at any position, who do you choose and why?
So I think this was meant to be a very creative question. I'm going to take a non-creative route and just say, why wouldn't you just put Dansby Swanson in the middle infield?
Hey,
Shit.
that's so perfect.
He wasn't specific enough.
That's the easy answer, but it's not really very fun. But that is the easy answer.
And,
It's a pretty good guess.
That's why I was very specific asking Vinny yesterday, which team, Rangers or Diamondbacks, will they be like? You can't pick a middle. And, of course, you picked the smartest answer out there, so congrats. Dansby Swanson's your new shortstop. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with our teammate, Cole Kmet. At St. Viator, he pitched, and he was an all-state tight end. Then he went to Notre Dame his freshman and sophomore year. He was a reliever, closer, and then he got hurt, and so they closed him down from doing that, and he never pitched anymore. But have reliever Cole Kmet as the either closer, which we need one. So, yeah, I would say that no Cubs. Come on, AJ. You said 80 Chicago current athlete. He answered the question in good faith and made it right.
Yeah, no offense, AJ. You said Chicago athlete.
You did, but I'm going to go with Cole Kmet because he looks like he can pitch a little bit.
All right, so we got Dansby Swanson. Just a great answer. We got Cole Kmet.
Lefty, too.
There you go. So we got second base and right field open.
Yep.
Pitching, I feel like, is a tough thing to just kind of jump in. Right? If anyone's going to have any success, they kind of have to be, I think, a hitter.
Okay.
Because pitching, it seems like a lifelong venture.
Yes.
I don't know. Deion Sanders and Michael Jordan, they didn't come into minor league baseball and start pitching.
Correct.
I don't think that's a hobby you just pick up. Okay, well, maybe you want to think on an answer to satisfy
I have
AJ.
a backup, but I need to figure out how to pronounce his name.
Why not Andre Drummond? Andre Drummond's got hops.
He's tall.
The outs above average would be insane. I mean, we tried it with Gavin Sheets. Why not make it bigger and better? I mean, Andre Drummond could probably swing like a 44-ounce bat. But it's a big dude.
But have you seen basketball players try to play baseball? It's usually not good. It is usually terrible. The
This is
example
a former
that
top 10 pick.
I understand that they're usually uncoordinated and don't know how to swing a bat. AJ's guy was a little bit better because Zach LaVine's dad, I think, played professional softball. And so he's learned the game throughout his career and played baseball.
He's played in the celebrity softball game.
Yeah, and so, yeah.
Cool. That's celebrity softball.
I'm telling you.
He hit a homer off Dave Coulier.
Yes, I'm telling you, if you look in here, I guarantee you'll probably find Andre Drummond swinging a bat, and he looks awkward as fuck.
I don't know. You see DeMar DeRozan throwing like a 30-yard bomb.
Yeah,
and
football is not that hard. Baseball is foreign to most of these basketball players.
All right, I've got my better answer, AJ. I've got a better one for you. More creative, at least. So, Sox, when it comes to stopping the wild pitches,
yes,
not so great.
Oh, here we go.
Right?
Yeah.
So you need a goalie is what you need.
Yeah, I like this.
So I don't know if you want the guy who let up 8 last night against the Coyotes, but you could go with either of the two Hawks goalies, whether that's Peter Mrazek or
right?
Arvid Soderblom.
Oh, look at you.
The Swede.
Watch out, Jay Zawoski.
Yeah. So I'd go with go ahead and put one of those two behind the plate, so you get just nothing but blocked balls. No wild pitches at all next season.
Couldn't be worse. They barely threw anybody out. All he has to do is throw the ball right back to the pitcher. I think those guys could do that.
There you go. And they get to wear all the goalie pads too.
Butterfly.
They get the
safe.
stick and the glove. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'd be less afraid to catch if I had all that stuff.
Right, exactly.
So, I mean, I think that
And
makes
the
Dylan
batter
sees-
gets a little too close to him. He hits him with a stick. It's
Exactly.
like, get out of here. Get out
Yeah.
of my zone.
Get out of the crease.
AJ's saying Andre Drummond's knees would turn into dust in the outfield. So how about this, AJ? I'd pick Patrick Williams. I think they're actually the same height, even though one's a forward and one's more of a center. Patrick Williams apparently is too afraid to play basketball, so maybe he won't be too afraid to play baseball. I looked up if Connor Bedard could, maybe
He's not a big guy.
No, not a big guy.
He's really good at the hockey part of athletics.
He's extremely young, too, which I thought would be good. But he threw out a first pitch at the Cubs. Oh, boy. I mean,
Not good.
It wasn't bad. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it was still an athlete throwing a pitch. He got it over the plate. He got it to Clark the Cub on a fly.
Was he wearing pants?
It was
Bedard?
July.
Oh, I mean, Clark.
Oh, no, Clark is pantless.
Some
pervert.
pants on.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think Bedard has the form to make it. I mean, maybe Bedard can. I think his first goal was at like 82 miles per hour. So I mean, like that's good sweeper, velocity. But I don't think
You want him to stand on the pitcher's mound and shoot the pitch with the puck.
with
with the stick.
That's
Rather.
a pretty tough angle to hit from. I mean, think about Aaron Bummer. I mean, Aaron Bummer's. I mean, who's the one guy? Rogers on the Giants. I mean, he's basically scraping the ground with his knuckles.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not a horrible idea. I mean, give Brian Bannister 5 months.
It's a good question. It's a good question.
It is
AJ.
a good question.
Nicely done.
Have you ever seen them play tennis in baseball style? So the pitcher has a tennis racket, pitches it with the tennis racket, and you hit the ball with the tennis racket. And to pick off the guy, you have to hit the ball with the tennis racket.
Why aren't we watching this all the time?
I don't know. It looked very entertaining as hell.
That sounds fantastic.
They were picking people off with the hitting a tennis racket, hitting the ball over there, and they would just grab it and tag them.
Oh, that's
Oh,
phenomenal.
it's great.
You know, they do play this sport, and it's called baseball.
Not with tennis rackets.
Yeah, why would they play with tennis rackets?
Because it's wacky.
Peter Sampras can come back and play.
Sure.
That's the main reason.
See? Look, son again.
Yep.
To be fair,
Stop doing it. Make up your mind, Chicago.
Can see the Sears Tower now.
Alec mentions in the chat he'd change his answer to Justin Fields at second base. Justin Fields did play
He did.
in high school. He was the shortstop and second baseman out of Kennesaw. He was the 44th ranked shortstop, top 250 overall in the national 2018 class. And out of Georgia, he was a top 30 player and top 10 shortstop. So, hey.
So he was actually good at baseball.
Yes.
Yeah, right. I mean, the shocker, the 6'4" athletic freak is an athletic freak. I don't know. I mean, maybe baseball wasn't a sport, though, but it's fast. So, I mean, I don't think there's a tough answer if you're saying the best player from this team could work. I mean, you could even pick. I mean, Candace Parker doesn't play for the Sky. I shouldn't.
No, she's gone.
Who's on the Sky anymore?
Kalia Copper.
There you go. She can play, right? She's better than Gavin Fields. Or Gavin Sheets. Let's jump into the next question here. Who's Gavin Fields?
I don't know.
Oh,
You just made him up.
I said Josh Fields earlier, so
Maybe that's
maybe
what I'm
you
thinking
put that.
Well,
in your
I think
head.
you were merging him with Justin Fields, who you were just
Oh,
talking
yes.
about.
That's helpful. All right, next question is from our diehard sports _ gal _ Allie and Ian Robo.
This is a joint question.
Well, it wasn't really a
There were
question.
similar ones.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
it was more of a discussion, and I
Gotcha.
thought, why not ask Vinny and Herb? Is the new White Sox front office set up too much like the old front office situation? Them saying Josh Barfield would be the Rick Hahn, Chris Getz would be the Kenny Williams. You're shaking your head?
No,
Explain.
that is wrong. And in fact, I think that it stands out that this is not set up that way. Chris Getz is the GM. There is no head of baseball operations besides him. For years, the entirety of Rick Hahn's tenure as the general manager of this team, Kenny Williams was above him on the flow chart, or of the organization. Now, is that how it always worked out? It was hard to tell sometimes with Rick being kind of the point man in terms of who we were talking to, in terms of saying, being the spokesman for the organization, in terms of apparently the guy making the decisions, in conjunction with other people, but it was his rebuilding project, right? Not his and Kenny's kind of. So at least that's how it was presented. So this is the opposite of that. One guy at the top. And they said that that's what they wanted when they fired Rick and Kenny. The White Sox said they were looking for a single decision maker. They hired him, or promoted him rather, in Chris Getz. Josh Barfield, great hire. Everybody's excited for him. Just obviously did a great job with the Diamondbacks. His title is Assistant General Manager, the same one that Chris Getz had for the last couple of years, that Jeremy Haber had and continues to have with the White Sox. So no, this is not that situation at all. A different rung of the organizational ladder, so to speak, is where Getz and Barfield are compared to where Rick and Kenny were. And so I think Barfield is part of that brain trust, but this is Chris Getz's ship, and he's running it.
And I can see why people can get confused on that thing, but Vinny explained it perfectly. There's no time where Josh Barfield's going out and making a deal with another team and then going to check with Rick. Hey, Rick, we can get this done? That's what Rick had to do each time. That's what I was been told. To get a trade done, he had to go and see Kenny, who was his boss the whole time. So there's no Josh Barfield independently going out and getting a thing for Jeremy Haber. And so, yeah, as you said, he's the guy. He's the number one. He's going out and searching for deals. He's going out unless he tells one of these guys, Josh Barfield or Jeremy Haber, to go out on his stead. Then those guys have to go out and then still report back to him. But he's the guy, the main guy, who will be in charge of this team, and will be blaming him or giving him the credit. Not Josh Barfield, not Jeremy Haber, not any of the other people. He's the guy. The buck stops with Chris Getz.
Right, and it does seem like Josh's more main overview will just be hiring a farm director and filling out the farm.
I don't know if that's entirely true. I think right now, they don't have a farm director right now. Mm-hmm. Chris Getz has to hire a farm director.
Yep.
Because of Josh Barfield's background in being a farm director, I think anything until they hire a new one, he will have some say in what goes on in that. That will be part of his purview, so to speak. But he explained it to us that he will also be involved in player acquisition and in all the other stuff that a front office member would be involved in, or in, I should say, an assistant GM would be involved in. He is not going to be the farm director. It will be somebody else, and Josh Barfield will be the assistant general manager.
So we'll see how this unfolds. And two, I mean, they haven't even made a single move yet as a front office duo this offseason.
They did pick up that guy from the Rangers, like you said, Herb. I don't remember his name.
Huh? Spears or Spees?
Speas. Spees.
We're talking about Alex Spees.
He's a relief pitcher.
Yes.
Yeah. See, we remembered his name right away.
You
did. With his shaven off thing. Were you trying to go for Paul Konerko today? You got a little Paul Konerko in you today.
Thank you.
Yes. You look like Paul Konerko, especially when he shaved his beard off. I'm telling you.
I don't think I do. Anyways, I mean, I expect this to be the Chris Getz show. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Jerry's making you the guy after 15 years and firing his son. I don't know. I don't really think that this is going to be Josh Barfield muddying waters. I don't think this is going to be, I can't even think of the other guy's name, Jeremy Haber's muddying the waters. It does seem like this is going to be Chris Getz's show in operation, and we'll see how that plays out. But I don't think we're going to get the messiness like Kenny and Rick were. And then let's take a break, and then we'll get into the final question from our guy Jim, and then we'll terrorize Vinny and Herb with my thoughts and ideas. I want to let you know about our friends over at Fubo TV. They have 140 live channels of sports, shows, movies, and news. You can stream live TV from any device and watch the most Chicago sports for the lowest price. And best of all, you can start watching immediately with a free trial. There's no contract, no cable, no hassle. Just sign up and start watching today. And the part that really sells it to me, 1,000 hours of cloud DVR included at no extra charge. So whether you're watching Golden Bachelor, whether you're watching sports, whether you want to watch the news.
Cartoons?
Oh, you can record cartoons.
I love cartoons.
You got a favorite cartoon?
Oh, Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a classic. Herb, you got a favorite cartoon?
Woody Woodpecker.
Okay. Simpsons are pretty good.
Oh, I guess that counts as a cartoon.
I guess it does.
I guess. And you can watch local teams while traveling as well. And you got college football this week. You got the NFL coming up. Bears are on a bye, I think, right?
They're play this week.
They
Do
play.
They play this week? Who do they play?
They play the
Someone on Sunday.
Yeah, I forgot.
Okay. Well,
I know they Thursday for the tailgate they play the Panthers.
you go watch them then as they take on the Saints in New Orleans. And there's also NBC Sports on Fubo, UEFA Euro qualifiers, and the Ryder Cup. So watch all your favorite college football and NFL with Fubo. Go to www.FuboTV.com/CHGO. That's FuboTV.com/CHGO to sign up today for 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro. Also want to let you know about our friends over at Chevy. If I can find the read.
Ray Chevy,
There
probably.
it is. Ray Chevy.
Yeah.
Are you in the market for a new or used vehicle? If you are, then we have some great news for you because our friends over at Ray Chevy in Fox Lake have joined the CHGO team. We know and are proud to let you know about the Ray Price Promise, the guarantee that the price you pay when you the price that you see online is the price you pay when you go into the dealership. They found that in many cases, other dealers will raise the price on you when you come into the dealership, asking things like, are you a recent college grad?
No.
Are you active in the military?
I am not.
Are you a farmer?
I am not.
Are you Herb Lawrence?
I am currently.
Oh, okay. You might answer no to most of those questions unless you're Herb. You might answer yes to that one. But
It's a weird question to ask me.
yeah, I don't know if that
It's a
one's
weirder question to ask anybody else.
Yes.
I don't know if that one's one that has a limited rebate on it too. But that's when other dealers, when you say no to all those questions, even the Herb Lawrence one, will raise the price on you, saying the price online included limited rebates that you do not qualify for. At Ray, that's not the case. The price you see online is the price you pay with no add-ons to the price ever. And in fact, Ray will do everything possible to find additional savings for you, which may make the price lower than you see online. As one of the top-selling dealers in the Midwest, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest inventory. And right now, you could save big at Ray Chevy during their Truck or Treat savings event.
Oh, Truck or Treat!
Hey,
Let's see what they did there.
probably over tomorrow.
But today's the best day to do
You
it.
can go, yeah, right. I mean, they probably put the bowl of candy out, and all you have to do is, go up and take as many as you want, because that's
As many trucks as you want.
Yeah, 0% is back and now available on new Silverado trucks, the perfect tailgating vehicle. So come on into Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake and find the vehicle you've been searching for. And best of all, pay zero hidden fees with the Ray Price Promise. Visit Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. Serving the community since 1963. Find new roads. All right.
Way too much witty banner.
Yeah, way too much.
That guy is just pissed at the house.
That was extremely. Did you hear about this?
I saw it, yeah. You tweeted about it, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. You were on Twitter during your vacation?
At times.
okay.
I see what was going on in the World Series.
Yeah.
Or
And apparently-
before the World Series started.
Apparently, my Twitter. Yeah, sorry to hear
People
that.
hate fun.
Wow.
That's what I've taken from that, because I love the witty banner, and
Hell
it's
yeah.
entertaining. Now, that could just be because I hear it every day, and so it's nice to, get a different one, but I like
Sure,
it.
the advertisers like it too. Just having fun with their ads.
Why don't you write an iTunes review saying, "Hey, I love
iTunes
the witty
review.
banter so much," and we'll
I will,
off-balance that.
I will.
Thanks, Sarah. Appreciate that. You're really producing here today, going above and beyond. It even made the welcome home sign for Vinny yesterday too.
That was great.
Let's get into our final question here. This one isn't from a diehard, but from a guy who sits.
He's a diehard.
But he is a diehard Sox fan, but I don't think he's actually a part
He's
of the
like
diehard
20 in
program.
that photo.
Probably
Yeah.
watching watching right now on the train back home.
Yeah.
With his scooter right by his side. Shout out to Jim. Who
He's
had
not
to-
going to be able to drive that home today.
Yeah, he had to do that in the snow.
You're not driving that scooter home through snow, Jim. I'm
Brutal.
sorry. You're going to have to carry that.
Jim approached Vinny and I and said, him and his brother, right? Is him and his
Cousin?
either
I don't remember. A
cousin or
relative.
Relative. We're talking about this question. And he turned it on us.
Mm-hmm.
If you were a hitter with no degrading stamina, how many pitches would it take for you to get a hit off prime Chris Sale throwing 100% each time? He can switch up his pitches.
Yeah.
He can go fastball, slider, fastball, whatever.
But his
right?
stamina does go down.
His stamina does go down.
Correct.
So how many pitches will it take until you finally get a hit off of Chris Sale?
Answering the question first with a question.
Oh, we answered with 100.
Yeah,
So
Okay,
we'll do
I
that.
just
Feel
want to
free.
need
We'll
with
do that for
one
the rest of the
question.
show.
Is it me or is this hypothetical me who's actual MLB?
No,
no,
it's you.
it's you
Oh,
currently.
no. None.
Walk into the plate.
It's over. None.
No, well,
No.
I would not be able to get a hit off of Chris.
So you
Sale.
said infinite.
Yes.
He could keep throwing until he literally drops dead.
Herb Lawrence could not get a hit off. I've struck out in softball. No. I could so pitch softball. No. Chris Sale in 2017 struck out 310, I think, Major League Baseball players. That's only happened, I think, 19 times. 19 different men have done that. No. 44-year-old Herb Lawrence cannot do that ever. Maybe every once in a while, I'm just sitting fastball. He throws me one right down the middle. I get a foul tip off of it.
But
Other than
Herb,
that, no.
But
I'm going to
Herb-
be scared of that slider that's looking for my back foot, and I'm going to be either bailing or swinging at a ball way before that.
But I think you're missing the essence of the question, which is he
gets worse.
keeps throwing. He
Okay.
keeps throwing. So even if you put the best pitcher in baseball history, they can't throw 1,000 pitches in one sitting, in one at bat, so to speak.
he would just stop throwing. He would either die or retire.
But you still
I would
never
not get a hit.
Even the pitch before he died.
No. It's Chris Sale. Because I would be sitting on
All of
fastballs the whole time. Because I know I can't hit a slider, change up curve. I'm done. And his fastball's 100 miles per hour at that time, right?
But it wouldn't be 100 after hundreds of pitches thrown.
Pitch
it would
300,
be
it wouldn't be.
86. And I would still strike out. Yes.
Because I agree with you, but I just want people to understand what the question was.
Okay.
Because I am a horrible athlete,
Yeah.
and I think that it would be a similar answer to yours.
Mm-hmm.
But I want people to understand that the specifics of the question that Jim presented.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we do more of a, I don't know, if we talk about Jesse and then he eventually tires it out, I can maybe get a knock off him.
How many pitches for Jesse Schultens. Would Jesse Schultens be able to get to 300 pitches, blowing them past you before you got a hit? Put one in play past a fielder.
Past him?
Past
past
fielder.
the infield.
No.
The infielders, I should say.
You don't have to run, but
No.
just get past.
I would not get past. The best I can do is foul a ball off of him. At 300 pitches, he can throw whatever he wants to throw. And Schulten's what, mid-90s?
300 pitches.
300 pitches.
They
is a
wouldn't
lot
be
of
able to pick
pitches.
their arm up.
Yeah, he would be tired, but I would be tired. I mean, I forgot. I get stamina. That's 100.
Right.
The stamina
You're not
bar for
tired
me is
at
at
all.
100.
Yeah.
I'll stay there, and my talent would be at the 0. So,
Sure, but your stamina's still high.
I'll be, oh man, I'm feeling great, but I'm terrible at baseball. I mean, maybe I would get a foul tip, and it would go right past him, but he would just throw me out. But that would be it. Or a foul or a ball that is hit softly, and it goes right back to him.
You're not hitting a ball out of the infield, is what you're saying.
No. Not at all.
The answer, yes, Sale's stamina degrades. That is correct.
Yes. So
Alejandro.
after each and
Yes.
every single pitch,
It gets a
he's
little
throwing
bit smaller.
Alex says
100% each and
500
every
pitches.
It'd be the multiple hundreds for me, but there is going to be a point where he just physically can't pitch anymore.
Yes.
And so he's just got to start lobbing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to think then the question becomes, how many swings against a 70-mile-an-hour ball would it take me to hit a grounder that wasn't right at an infielder? So then the question becomes that. So let's go ahead and say I will go up somewhere in close to 400, 350 plus
for Chris Sale.
for Chris Sale. The Chris Sale answer. Yeah.
I don't know. I have a
And you're a lefty, too.
Yeah, I have a different task than you guys because you guys are both righties. That slider is going to eat me up. I mean, and any fastball up and in or just in general is going to eat me up. I feel like I think of myself as a better athlete than you think of yourself, Vinny, just because I am younger. But I don't know.
You are younger.
I
That
honestly
is true.
thought you would say a number in the 500s to 700s.
I mean, that could very well be true. I just think that for a Major League Baseball pitcher, we see how Major League Baseball pitchers, the best of them, right, get just, and granted, they're facing Major League Baseball hitters, so it's a different thing, but some of them struggle to get to 100 sometimes. So, I'm saying that, once they hit about 160, 170, they're just not even going to be able to do what they're used to doing, and that will just go sharply down the more they go. So I think by the time that Chris Sale has permanently injured himself by throwing 300 so pitches, then it just becomes, am I going to be able to get the ball past any fielder?
20 people have thrown more strikeouts than Chris Sale in the 2017 season, where he struck out 308. So I mean, this is the best of the best, the elite of the elite.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't trust myself. I mean, maybe it'd be 250 and I get lucky, but also this is the same person that in Road to the Show on All-Star difficulty, I just played about 9 straight innings where I couldn't get a hit off the Cardinals. So I don't.
But that's your thumbs.
Yeah, right. So my hands and my eye coordination and my body.
That's probably worse, right?
Yeah. There's no way.
I'm
so
very
funny.
scared because remember Chris hits a couple people too, and I'm jumping out of the box.
But you're not affected. Your injury is all your
still gonna
stamina
hurt.
bar is still first.
It's still gonna hurt.
If it helps, Chris Sale in 214 innings in 2008 hit 8 guys.
Awesome. That's perfect. That's not a lot.
Mickey Lolich, who struck out 308 in 1971 in 376 innings,
Jesus.
yeah, 150 more innings.
Talk about arms falling off.
Hit 7 guys. So a
I
little
definitely think that I could get hit by Chris Sale within 200 pitches.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would, let one of those sliders just hit me in the ankle. Like,
Yeah.
son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't get on base; it was get a hit.
Yeah, I understand. It's a different question, but that one I'm a lot more confident in answering.
What would happen first? A hit by pitch, a fielding error, or you actually genuinely getting a hit?
Hit by pitch, without even a doubt.
What's the White Sox fielding, so?
I'm not hitting a ball hard enough for anybody to make an error.
Yeah, and
You do not have to rush. I'm not running very fast.
90
you're
feet
fine.
is a thing.
Yeah.
As I've seen. It's going to be tough. And even if I fall down, or even if I hit it to a guy very slowly, he's going to take his time,
He can just walk
relax,
to that thing.
and throw the ball lob.
It's a good question, too, because, I don't have the ability to bunt a major league pitch, right?
No.
Like
I
I don't
wouldn't
think I
want to.
could even get an infield.
That's
Can't
worse.
run fast enough to
That's
get an
worse.
infield
That's when
single.
your hand in danger.
Yeah.
This hand or this hand.
But your stamina stays 100%.
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, the other question too is my stamina stays 100%, but I'm still a scaredy cat.
Yes.
My hands will still sting from trying to hit a 90-mile-per-hour fastball. I'm quitting before I actually get a hit. I mean,
Wow.
Absolutely. I know myself. I mean, there's no way. I mean, I'm
don't
sitting
think
here
my-
for a reason, not
Yeah, I don't think
at
my
a batting cage.
arm swing goes that fast to hit a 100-mile-per-hour fastball or a 90-mile-per-hour slider. Like a slider was devastating.
So
that's what we forget about. Like, yes, after 300 pitches, it would be less devastating, and his arm would be tired and maybe fall off. I think it just switched to the right arm and it'd still get me out.
So here's a question then. Here's a new question, Sean, going off what you said, because it's very true and applies to me certainly as well. How many pitches in would you stop being so scared that you would actually swing?
Oh, I'd need to see at least 50, right?
Like if they're coming in at 100, like you're gonna be
4.
You would see a 100 mile an hour pitches and then be like, all right,
I'm
let
good.
her rip.
I got the
4.
timing. You
Let
like
her rip. 4. 4.
Put me in, coach.
How many pitches would it
Put
take you
me
to get a
in.
hit?
All right, Sarah,
Sarah.
answer the original question. How many could you get a hit?
Chris Sale.
6.
Okay, we need
6.
to. I would pay Chris Sale so much
You'd
money
get
to do
a
this.
hit.
After 6, I would hit the 6th one.
No, to get a hit. Hit
Like
the
just
ball
this-
to the outfield.
Yeah,
For
get
just a single, though. Just
Yeah.
a single. Oh, like 6 or 7 pitches.
Come on, Sarah.
Against a major league baseball player.
Oh, yeah.
That's you. That's that youth speaking right
Wow.
there.
All right.
That-
He said that's the youth.
Sarah,
Yeah, that's
Sarah,
it.
I think you might need to go. You might need to go try out during spring training.
Yeah,
It
that's
I
sounds
think
like.
I had too much sugar this morning.
That's a blissfully unaware answer. That's great.
Sarah's 3 hot bags of Halloween candy deep right now.
I like the
Put me
confidence in
in.
yourself, Sarah, but I want to see this. I want to set this up. Hey, Chris Sale, what are you doing? 6 pitches for Sarah. See if she gets a hit.
I mean, pitch 6 would be like the decider, right? Because I mean, it's it's
Either she gets
you
a
get
hit
the
or
full count.
or she's out.
Yeah, maybe you walk.
Oh, I
too.
see what you're saying.
I mean, I'm assuming Sarah's got pretty decent
Good eye at the plate.
heart and chase rate, swing take.
Well, the funny part
meters.
is, too, Herb's the only one I think out of the 3 of you that has actually seen me like swing a bat because of softball. And so it's just
You get contact every time.
almost every time.
Yeah, that's
And I'm maybe not as fast as others, but I feel like I could do something.
She's got experience facing those 100 mile an hour 16-inch softball pitches. She'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Present day, same thing, Alejandro. Present day Chris Sale,
No.
maybe after like 150.
Well, he'd get tired a lot faster
And
than
he'd
he
be
would
pissed
have.
too.
You give me 175, I'm hitting modern day.
Here we
Chris
go,
Sale.
though. I think he'd definitely hit you within like 20 or 30.
Oh my god! Just for shits and giggles. Like
to
his
do
first
it.
pitch, you just fucking throw in my ribs. Like, you son of a bitch.
Jesus. Yeah. Really lost his control after 2017. 158 innings, 14 hit by pitches, 147, 13 hit by pitches, 102 this year, 8 hit by pitches. That was the same in 214 innings as 2017. So yeah, Chris Sale's lost it. So you're definitely getting drilled by Chris Sale
On first base.
in modern day 2023. All right, that's it for the questions. I guess I could give you a preview on the bad plan since this is Halloween and everything's spooky. So this is all based off of Sox Machine's offseason project plan. They based their budget on a budget that would be $185 million for the 2024 season. What I'm trying to do is create one that is well under the $185 million budget, one that's near or at that $185 million budget, and one that's a little bit more aggressive that maybe the White Sox are able to spend $200 million or something like that. This one has me declining the option for Tim Anderson, Liam Hendricks, and Mike Clevenger would be opting out. Leury Garcia is still getting paid $5.5 million. He is also in Lidom right now, playing. So hey, maybe there's a comeback. Maybe you offer him $100,000 and he gets
You're
$5.6 million.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe him and Hanser Alberto are on the same team.
Correct.
Yes. Yeah. Him, Hanser, and I think Franmil Reyes, but I could be wrong on that one.
Star-studded.
Absolutely. But this budget, the grand total of The Bad Place, and this is taken from The Good Place off NBC, right? There's either a good place, a bad place, or maybe there's something in between. This budget is at $116 million.
116.
Yeah.
All right,
Ugh.
you You went way low.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess that was kind of the point. A place that was really just indefensible. A place that I guess if it does happen, I won't be surprised. And honestly, I'd be so sad.
I'll be very
disgusted.
shocked.
But this is like a refusing to fill out a roster.
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, this is. I mean,
Call up your minor leaguers and letting them take over second, right field, and all the pitching spots.
don't get ahead of yourself too much because second isn't a minor leaguer.
Jesus
It's
Christ.
Elvis Andrus.
Here are the old players. No, Elvis Andrus playing short. First base, Andrew Vaughn.
Okay.
Shortstop, Elvis Andrus. Third base, Yohan Moncada. Left field, Andrew Benintendi. Couldn't get rid of him. Center field, Luis Robert Jr. Right field, Gavin Sheets.
Ugh.
Catcher, Corey Lee. And this is on the bench. Utility, Romy. Utility, Zach Remillard. Utility, Popeye.
So Romy didn't even start at second? God.
So you have no backup outfielders. Just throw Remillard and Gonzalez out there.
Yeah. Sounds
Who's
good.
playing center under this plan?
Luis.
Romy, I guess?
Luis Robert Jr.
Well, but
150
he's
times.
not going to play 162.
No, he's not.
Yeah.
I could figure that out a little bit more. I guess I don't have a center fielder.
A backup one.
But I mean, hey, Luis Robert Jr. is a pretty good player.
There you
Starting pitching, Cease and Kopech. Those are the only players that are staying out of the bullpen. Gregory Santos, Aaron Bummer. Brian Shaw is returning. Jose Urena is returning. Lane Ramsey, Tuki Toussaint, Garrett Crochet. The players that are new, a catcher, your starting catcher, who just had 100 weighted runs created plus with the Cleveland Guardians, Zachary Collins.
Ugh.
Zach Collins and Corey Lee are your catchers. Your second baseman is Nicky Lopez after he is traded to the Braves for Mike Soroka and Nicky Lopez for Eloy Jimenez. And then you got Franmil Reyes.
Wait a second. You traded Eloy to the Braves
For Soroka.
and Nicky Lopez.
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha.
right.
I'm just trying to follow.
Not saying that that's fair or good,
I would take
but
the fuck out of that.
the idea is that Soroka has not pitched in 2 years and looks like he may never pitch again. And Nicky Lopez is a second baseman who used to be with the Royals.
Kind of like Mike Soroka. When the White Sox traded him, he never pitched after that.
Oh, I didn't know that. Mike Soroka and Mike Soraka. Nice little crossovers there. But the idea, too, with the Braves is there's a team option for Ozuna this year. You decline it. I think his team option is $16 million. Eloy is $13.5, right? So you're just replacing Ozuna with a player that you might think have more potential. The White Sox are getting rid of him for cap relief.
Cap relief in baseball.
Hey,
There's no cap.
there is no cap. That's true. So much to tell Jerry Reinsdorf. He's never spent over the what's
Not
it
come
called?
close to the competitive
CBT?
balance tax.
And real quick, signing with Eloy going out, Franmil Reyes would be your DH. Franmil Reyes has a slugging percentage of .771 right now in the Dominican League. So let's go.
Bring those pitchers where he's facing to the American League.
Well,
too.
here are some of them. They're in the rotation for the White Sox. Johnny Cueto, he's back. He had a great year in 2022, and Brian Bannister and Ethan Katz were with him in San Francisco. Same with Alex Wood. He's a lefty who's
for that one.
You know, he can give you innings. I was looking for 130 innings, and I think he does that decently. And then Soroka, who was acquired in the trade, and then the only other player that is new to the bullpen is Nick Nastrini. I really think that this plan is possible if they really do just kind of run it back. I don't know what the idea is for 2024. I think there is a part where, hey, we think we're going to be competitive in 2025. So let's go and make some progress now, and maybe we can be a 75-win team. I think that's the okay place. But if they are just not interested in spending after having the worst attendance in baseball, I don't know. I mean, what
Worst attendance drop in baseball.
Year over
worst-
year.
yes,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Percentage drop. What I guess is signaling that they would spend anywhere near $180 million. Like, I guess it's not wrong, and Jim and Josh have been very accurate in their past two predictions with the budget, but I don't know. I feel like it's going down. I don't think it's 185, so this is obviously being drastic and hyperbolic and
Yeah, and I get
worst case scenario.
I get what you're saying there, and your overarching thought that maybe they'll just spend less and wait kind of thing is not wrong. I think the thing that what you said there doesn't do is there's not really one move that you made that would have an eye on 2025, right?
No.
Everything there was just wheel spinning. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier, just feel the team and twiddle your thumbs because next winter is when we're going to do the real work. Like there are moves that can be made this winter that even if they're not super competitive in 2024 would be very beneficial to them competing in 2025. And I think that even in a world where the outcome is what you're saying, maybe they're just going to decrease spending and wait until 2025, they're still going to do things that set them up to be better in 2020 or to be a contender even in 2025. And so those moves can happen this winter, even if what you just said is the end result of the major league season in 2024. I think that the things that you just described are like, here's my offseason plan if they're not trying to be good and Major League Baseball folds after 2024. You know what I mean? Like, there will be a season in 2025, and it's one that they can start preparing for now. They could also do the other things that you are going to get at down the road, which is,
not be a pessimist.
Right.
Try.
So yeah. So I think I think that's what you could make some moves there that would be like, and maybe that guy would have upside for 2 years down the road kind of thing. And I think you will see some of those moves regardless of where they're going to end up for 2024. I think you still see some of those moves this winter because they are trying to build for more than just next year.
Yeah, that's hell right there, Sean. I couldn't see them doing that. But also I can see them maybe doing similar things because of the lack of experience of this front office. So they just don't know how to get deals done, and all the work they have to get done is a lot. So they could just kick that can down the road to the 2024 offseason. But, yeah, that team would be horrible. I don't know if they would win the games they won this year.
Also,
61 games.
Also, what did you do to Jesse Schultens?
Oh, it's true.
Yeah, he's still a rookie.
No, it's fair. I honestly spent too much money on Alex Wood. I should probably just get rid of Alex Wood and put Jesse
You
Schultens
somehow
there.
figured out a way to bring. You somehow figured out a way to bring Jose Urena back, but kicked Jesse Schultens out of the organization.
No, that's a good point. I don't think we're going to have Jose Urena back. I think that because Urena is going to cost a little bit of money. Schultens is cheap. That's the whole point. That's catastrophic. The White Sox don't try, and Major League Baseball's folding. I think that's a good way to put it, Vinny. I think the White Sox are going to try in some way, and that would be the okay plan. Like, obviously, I'll have the perfect plan where if they're spending and there is no limitations, and I'm trying to be an AL Central winner, there will be that plan. But I will have a little bit more tomorrow, something a little bit more realistic, I guess you could say. That's Herb Lawrence.
Looking forward to it.
The purgatory plan.
A little bit better than purgatory.
That's where the White Sox would be in purgatory.
I guess the idea of purgatory is that you're at some point hopefully going to get to the other place, the good place. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, I guess purgatory is a good word for it. Thank you to Sarah for producing the show and for baking her cookies and her confidence in hitting Chris Sale. That's Herb Lawrence. You can follow him at EctorWall23. That's Vinnie Duber. You can follow him at Vinnie Duber. He's our CHGO White Sox beat writer. He's got a brand new piece up at allchgo.com, so go read it if you haven't yet. And I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. We'll talk to you tomorrow, and goodbye.
We all silly like the mayor.